Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗏. Today, guys, we're going to be diving down into some brief technical analysis for 𝗕𝗃. So as we get into it, if you find it useful, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, go ahead, check out the links in the description down below. Completely free, fantastic community, talking crypto 24/7, and we do a lot more technical analysis down there. Right, let's dive right into this. This is 𝗕𝗃 to the USDT, and on the hourly chart. I want to kind of talk about the completed move here for the ABC move. Again, this comes in from that low point that we had on the 24th of Feb. Of course, across a couple of days here to the 2nd of March, we actually reached the high point. This was actually a little bit lower than the expected move of 182. On the 1-to-1 ratio, we actually fell short by the turn of the market. Again, this is the 702 point that we actually hit. Now we can obviously see this move coming down, and this is a very choppy move, obviously very choppy on the way up as well, as you can see here. Now, ultimately, we're in the oversold position. It seems to be that we reached a pretty interestingly low point just here, and you know, this was effectively on the 5th, so this was yesterday about 1 a.m. and as we start to see a move upwards. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to count all of the waves inside here because it's very choppy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this recent move, right, based on how we would identify these kind of positions right here and here, right, because this is a really key thing that a lot of people, you know, maybe misunderstand about Elliott wave and how to use it. But what we're going to do is we're going to identify this wave, right? So first of all, we obviously have to acknowledge that this is a low point and we saw a turn in the market, right? So right down here we started to see a turn and we saw a bounce in the market, however you want to articulate it. This was a turning point, so this is going to be the start of our wave upwards, right? And we can see here there was another turn in the market where we pulled back down and we set this low point. Again, this turns and swings back to the upside. Okay, so depending on how you want to use your terminology, you know, this is a swing 1, swing 2, swing 3. Otherwise, this would be known as an ABC move, a corrective move. Okay, so basically we have wave A, we have wave B, and we have wave C. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the measurements of this, right? Because it's important that we understand, you know, did we overextend? Did we fall short of our target here on this C wave? So to do that, we're going to drag the Fibonacci retracement tool from the top of wave A down to the bottom of wave A, and then we're going to move this across into wave B, okay? And here we can see that we come across the resistance line. Let me just make sure I get this exactly right for you guys. Let me just pull that there. We can see that we come across resistance just up here on the 786. This is a key turning point for many cryptocurrencies. The 618, the 702, the 786, these resonate incredibly well with different cryptocurrencies. And in the case of 𝗕𝗃 here, you can see that we got rejected from the 786, okay? And then we start to see a turning back down in the market. Now, the good news is that we've basically taken this 𝗕𝗃 from an overbought area on our stochastic RSI down to an oversold area without actually doing too much damage to the price, right? We haven't gone down lower than we were previously. This is something that's also commonly known in the space as setting a higher low. Okay, cool. So we have a good understanding, but there's some things here that we need to understand a little bit deeper, right? Because this is not an ABC correction. At least it hasn't finished its ABC correction. And the reason for this is that this is our start point. We can see that we have definitive move down. We wick to this point, we bounce up, and then we are moving back down. But we haven't actually gone down lower than this point here. So we're expecting to actually come down lower. And the reason for this is the rules behind these ABC moves, right? Wave A comes down, wave B goes up, wave C has a minimum of a 1-to-1. Well, it has a minimum of at least reaching the same point as A wave, but sometimes it can go shorter. It's very rare, but most of the time, and the most probable, is that it gets a 1-to-1 ratio, right? And that's what we did here with this fib. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the fib now from the top of our A wave to the bottom of our A wave. And again, this is upside down into how we did it before. And we can see this gives us a bit of a target here for where we think, you know, 𝗕𝗃 might go as it starts to correct down. So as you can see, it's still pulling back a little bit here. And we're finding, you know, the resistance on that 618. That's understandable. The 702 and the 786 will be resistance. Now, of course, if we go past or go up to the 702, it's reached its minimum requirement. There's no need for it to go any lower down to this 145 target. But it is important that we acknowledge that 145 target is the most common, a 1-to-1 ratio with the A wave and the C wave. So this is the most common scenario that we should expect. Therefore, it's the most probable outcome for 𝗕𝗃 on the shorter time frame. Once that comes in, though, whether or not we actually, you know, get a bounce from the 786, which is also possible, we would be expecting an ABC move to the upside. Okay, so if we were looking for buying into this market, we're going to be looking at several key things. Obviously, this area that we're currently fighting through right now is an area of heavy buying pressure. as illustrated with that one particular candle that we had previously, right? So as we kind of lose this area, do expect ourselves to go down. I think there's loads of common sayings around this. I think if you lose support, go short, whatever the kind of sayings are, right? We have to understand that. So we want to be monitoring these areas of support on this journey, right? And this 702, this 146 is going to be a key area for 𝗕𝗃. Okay, if we do lose that, do expect ourselves to pull back down to 145, in my opinion. So 146.5 was the area that we really want to be focusing in on. This is a previous area of support. Okay, cool. So we've good understanding around what is going on there, with specifically around that 786 at $1.46.5, and that being the reversal point. Now, if we're trading, obviously that's going to be our entry point. We want to be potentially looking anywhere from buying it at 146.5 and 145.5, and then we ride that up into the swing. So if we're swing trading, that's kind of the thing that we'd be looking for there. Now, the stochastic RSI on our hourly chart is, of course, oversold. We're going to come down a little bit lower as we start to come down into this ratio here. And then, of course, the 4 hourly needs to be a little bit deeper corrected. It's okay. We can get a bump to the upside, but we're not expecting anything amazing at that point. The 8 hourly is in a pretty good spot, and the daily needs to come down. The weekly is in a good spot. So long term, we're looking really good. Medium term, we need to see some kind of corrective action on the kind of, the shorter to medium term, the 4 hourly chart, that needs to see corrective action. If we come down to 145, that should do it. I'm not expecting ourselves to lose the support of 144, sorry. If we were to come down to 142.6, that's an impulsive move to the downside. I don't think the stochastic RSI is indicating that kind of momentum behind the price action, so I don't think that is something that we should be expecting to occur, but it is a possibility, so do watch out for these key levels. Okay, so for me right now, I'm looking at 146.5 down to potentially 145.5. That would be my buy zone. And of course, if we were to lose 144, then in fact, I would be more inclined to say that that is very much unlikely to go back up anytime soon. And I'd probably put my stop loss around that point. And if we do actually hit 142.6, then we're impulsive to the downside, and in which case we may want to reverse that and think about moving our price targets down into these lower ranges. I think those are not probably probable right now, but we should be very mindful over what would invalidate these particular moves for 𝗕𝗃. Overall, we are looking pretty good long term, so if we're just hodling our way through, and I just take a look at the weekly chart here, we are actually looking at moving up quite significantly here with 𝗕𝗃. I'm going to delete this trend-based fib though, and I will actually throw on a slightly different one, and it does appear that we might be on the cusp yet, so we'll be looking at around $6, maybe even a bit more than that, as we start to think about maybe pushing up towards the $10 range. The minimum requirement for that fifth wave would be $6.76, so we should be watching out for those, but we have potentially seen here a bit of a move up. This is a corrective move. This could be wave 1, wave 2, and then we start to see that explosive move upwards. So I would not be too surprised if 𝗕𝗃 grows massively over the next few months. So one to watch out for sure. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new, why not go ahead and join? Subscribe to the channel, but also join us on Discord. We do a lot more technical analysis down there, and it's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. Guys, with all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.